5 centuries ago, Freya took a handful of mortal women to her sanctuary. They brought with them the best technologies of Midgard, and Freya taught them the ways of magic. Imbued with both, and powered by the gods, the first Guardian shield was forged. The first generations of shield maidens were born, tasked by Freya to renew the great cycle of time, end the endless winter, and bring forth new spring from the darkness of Ragnarok. They failed.
Hi guys, I'm Tom, this is The Bunker, and we're going to be taking our first steps into the world of Shield Maidens. Shield War! So today we're going to take a look at the training guide and games master's guide. Now I'm not going to read every single page, I'm just going to put it out there. If you want to read all these pages, buy the books. But I do encourage you to have a look at them, because when we get going through them, these are some of the nicest looking role-playing books I've ever seen. There's a couple of items I want to cover off first. As many people that watch the channel know, I know the people at Mongoose Publishing. I play in a wargaming club, and we role play with them, play Traveller with them, so on and so forth. So it was an easy decision for me to buy into Shield Maidens. Oh, hi Tom, have you seen our new game that we've made, Shield Maidens? What's that all about, Matt? Basically, it's Vikings, but with cyberpunk bits, and they get to use the power of gods to smite their foes. I'll stop you there, take my money. And that is actually what happened. I mean, fair enough, Matt. Matt's far handsomer, but there you go. What happened is that I have spent my own money on these, because I believe in what I was seeing in front of me. At the end of the day, it's Cyberpunk Vikings kicking ass. Why would you not want that? So, yeah, there you go. So, without further ado, we'll have a look through the books. And I really encourage the conversation here. It's going to not be the only Shield Maidens video we make. This is like a step into the world and see what it's all about. And we're going to be doing, I think I'll do like how to build a character. And then obviously we've got some unboxings to do. We've got the dice, we've got the GM screen. And then obviously it'll lead up to us actually playing the game, which we're really excited about. So let's have a look in the training guide. That's the one if you're a player, you want the training guide. If you're going to be a GM, you want the GM guide, fairly obvious. Or if you're crazy like me, you just buy everything. Winner. Let's have a look. Okay, so in our training guide, this is what you need to become a Shield Maiden. Now, the first thing that you're going to notice about this book is how beautiful it is. Okay, it is actually a work of art. These are brilliant books, really well put together. It starts with a story to get you in the mood, so to speak, or in the idea of what Shield Maidens is. So, long story short, the Viking mythology is real, and we're now in a stage where everything is sort of cyberpunk enhanced. You live in Midgard, and there is an evil corporation called the Fenrir Corporation, which is like the Empire of Man. Now, everybody is either for Fenrir or against Fenrir in some either direct or indirect way. They are everywhere and everything, and the people that fight against them are the Shield Maidens. So you have adventures through Midgard and so on and so forth. Now, it tells you literally from what is a Shield Maiden, what is a real role-playing game, what is a dice, all the basics. I think one of the most important things that it does cover is that not all women identify as female at birth. Not all women have bodies that align with their gender or sexuality. Shield Maidens is a strongly pro-LGBTQIA+ and trans positive, wearing its colours proudly on its sleeve. It's obviously a very feminine plus game, but it is inclusive, fully inclusive, and I think it's fantastic to see that. And I think Mongoose should be incredibly proud of themselves for that. We've got information on the world, so Midgard, things like this, the Fenrir, the Empire of Man. It's centralised governing body, military defence system. Defence at a price. In practice, it's an insidious empire whose energy consumption threatens the fabric of the cosmos. There you go. Re-education reports, brilliant. This is a sort of like a police state. And obviously the Shield Maidens will fight against that. They tried in the past, but they failed. And yeah, they've become like a resistance fighting army. So there's loads and loads of background information. That's Midgard. It's obviously now a sprawling mega city, so to speak, with various different levels. There are sewers, you know, all this sort of thing. And this is the art in this book is just incredible. I could look through it and just absorb it, tell you as much information about all the backgrounds, the zones, the sacrifice of Randy, the overall world of Shield Maidens, world of Midgard, the ice plains, the grove, beyond the walls, what you can expect to see outside. There's so much interesting stuff in this book, particularly if you like your Viking mythology. It links in really well with that sort of cyberpunk edge to it. Look at that. So you've got your 9 realms. What's that all about? The tree and so on and so forth. Yeah, loads and loads of background, loads and loads of cool stuff to learn, absorb, get into the real sort of background and culture of your characters. Tell you about the agents of Fenrir. So obviously you can see what sort of stylized enemies they are. There you go. So you've got gangs in Midgard. So you're not just going to be fighting the evil empire. You've got gangs in Midgard, mutants below Midgard, the restless dead, the beasts of the gate, elves. Nobody likes an elf. Jotun, dwarves, all sorts of stuff. And then we get on to the gods. So this, I absolutely love. So that's Freya as a god, and that's Freya as like a person. And it shows you them all. Odin, Heimdall, Thor, Hel, Sif, they're all here. And they're all done well. More information on what a shield maiden is. The technology. I mean, just look at this artwork. It's absolutely beautiful. The book's beautiful. And this is all information as to how. And then you actually get on to how to create a shield maiden. And it covers off the basics. Making a shield maiden is a 2-step process. Creating a concept for a shield maiden. You can have transgender shield maidens. Can men be shield maidens? Filling out the shield maiden sheet. And then you add your branch skills. I'm going to do a video about how to make a character. I watch quite a lot of Seth Cookin's. I apologise, Seth. I watch a lot of Seth's videos. And I totally agree with it. The first step is to make a character when you're learning a role play. So the sheet itself is actually your shield, which in itself is sick. So you make your shield and your various skills there: observation, understanding, might, speed, resilience, expression, sub-skills, observation. There is a plethora of different abilities and skills in this book. And the shield is a real major aspect of what you can actually do. So the shields you pick directly influence your character. Now, I'm not going to go through that in massive detail, but look, just the amount you can put into this and the amount of customization on the character is massive. If you've played Traveller, it's not the same as that. It's not the same sort of creation process. You get a lot more sort of involvement in it, and you can sort of really tune your warrior, which is, cool. Runes, Shields of Gala, summaries, look at that. And then obviously you're into the rules of how to actually play the game. So basic dice rules, time, sessions, campaigns, arcs, scenes, turn, downtime, so on and so forth. Choosing how to act. Shield maidens are able to undertake significant actions, limited only by their imagination and abilities. That could range from hacking into the gate mechanism on a Federal security depot, convincing a sacred resistance fighter to join a battle, resisting the gripping fear of a thundering ogre, or leaping across a rooftop to escape a burning building. These are called standard actions and occur out of combat. Standard action rules are performed by rolling 2d6 and adding the appropriate branch skill and sub-skill. Kind of like Traveller. If shield maidens do not possess points in the skill, they add points from the corresponding branch skill. So every difficulty roll involves risk of failure. And we have difficulty table here. So mundane is 7+. So throwing a stone at a clearly visible non-moving target, kicking down a fragile door, swaying a crowd who are sympathetic to your cause. So that's basically like easy. Complicated 9+, challenging 11+, arduous 13+, extreme 15+, legendary 17+. Hurling a stone at someone, hiding in a bunker in another realm, breaking down a door forged by the gods, convincing an army of cyclopean flesh-eating monsters to fight for your noble cause. There you go. So obviously then you've got how all the actions work together, weaponry, engineering, surfing the Bifrost. The Rainbow Road recognises the shield maidens as daughters of Freya, granting them access to surf its length, provided they do not stand on the bridge itself. Successfully surfing the Bifrost requires a challenging 11 balance roll. If this is failed, roll on the Bifrost table to determine the consequences. If the game's master wishes for the Shield Maidens to fall into the abyss, they should be treated as a story arc. This may be used in climactic moments to increase attention or drive the story into a different direction. That's how you get about, basically. But obviously you can fall into the nothingness, that would be pretty harsh on a GM, wouldn't it? That? So, sleight of hand, creativity, falling. So there's all different examples of your skills, opposed rolls, how that works. So, and then we get onto the shield dice. So each shield maiden possesses a guardian shield, and this divine artifact is no mere tool or weapon. The guardian shield is actually a device capable of channeling a phenomenal amount of human potential and creating truly awe-inspiring acts. When a shield maiden attempts to roll dice, she may announce she is using her guardian shield to aid her. Doing so allows her to roll a shield dice in place of 1d6. Rather than rolling 2d6 for action, she instead rolls a d6 and a d8, giving a greater chance of success. The ultimate arbiter of when a shield dice may be rolled is the games master. Fair enough. In general, the shield dice may be rolled whenever a guardian shield is used to aid the task. So, any time a shield dice is rolled, however, there is a chance of a flare, a spontaneous outpouring of energy. Guardian shields are not entirely mortal inventions. They are part divine and carry with them capabilities even shield maidens can barely harness. When the shield dice rolls an 8, a flare manifests and all the power of the gods erupts. The guardian shield emits a blazing light that can be seen for kilometres. Roofs are incinerated in a plume of fire, cliff sides crash, seas boil. It is nearly impossible to contain the outpouring of a guardian shield when it flares. It is a sight of inspiration, or inspiring, as it is terrifying. A living reminder of the power of the gods. That is badass. It moves on to combat, turn order, how it works, movement hand to hand. Example, ranged attacks. Raising your shields, all shield maidens possess a guardian shield. Of course they do. You can attack with a shield, flares in combat, what happens with that? It covers all these aspects off. And this is something that's really, really pretty cool. There you go. That's what they're fighting there. Swings and misses. Missed attacks, what happens? So obviously you have, so like drop down, you fall prone, letting an enemy or errant bullet get past your guardian shield. The next row to attack you gains +2 to hit. So they're all, it's quite an interesting way of looking at it. Enemies attack multiple enemies. There's quite a lot of combat potential, I think, in this game. At the end of the day, the Vikings weren't known for sort of tickling each other, whether they were swinging axe to face. And the shield maidens were no different to that. So, yeah, it shows you all how combat wounds work. And then gallows, using gallows. So you can spot in colours, and you can literally modify stuff and put runes and so on and so forth on all of your various equipment, which is sick. I'm going to nip past this because you're soon sort of seeing that there's a lot to this game. Mongoose haven't messed about with this. There is absolutely loads you can do. You can change the colours of things. You can increase your stats and so on and so forth. Gear, money and the law. Look at that. That is completely badass. It's just like weapons, armour and more. And it literally tells you about how to dual wield, what you can do with weaponry, so on and so forth. And this is all Viking style weaponry, cyberpunked, which is awesome. And it tells you all about, what it is, how much it costs, how many hands it takes to use, what the damage aspect is, and keywords. Now, obviously, there will be, and I'm not putting words in Mongoose's mouth here, but I imagine there'll be books of equipment coming out so you can expand this world. And you can start with some of the Godslayer weaponry, yes. That's probably more like what you will start with is just an actual sword. But obviously it is a cyberpunk world, so there are sort of technology aspects to it as well, which is really, really cool. And there's plenty of initial equipment in here to start your party off. Telling you about, all of the various different suits, the Aegis suits, armours. I mean, look at this. Look at this. Godblood armour. Wow. That's pretty badass, to be fair. Who does that look like? Not saying anything. Toxin resistant suits, cool. And then obviously mods. Ocular discharge capacitor. Yes, that is a... Oh my God, is that like an actual laser eye? Okay. Yeah, if you want a cool Viking badass motorcycle, you can have one of them. Yeah, and there you go. So being an awesome shield maiden. So at the end, this is really cool. It tells you basically this is how you play and be awesome. And there they are at the end, the shield maidens themselves. I think safety mechanics lines and veils. Why do you need safety rule sets? And I think this is really interesting. It's all about how to read the rule section 0, because at the end of the day, if one person's not having fun in your group, that can spread to the rest of your group. And group mechanics and how groups work together is an entire series of videos by itself. But it tells you, how to spot a player who's maybe not involved or is a bit uneasy, and it's okay to sort of pause and step back and talk to each other as the people you are. And at the end of the day, you're all playing together, you're all friends. And I really like that they've added this in. Only Lum 1. The Midgard Memo. Bloody Beast Battle. Wow, there you go. Quick reference guide at the back. Lots of gems, lots of coolness. And then obviously your sheet for your character. So front and back. And I love the fact that it's a shield. I'm tempted to make my players make it into an actual shield. Anyway, so, and obviously this is we'll do a video on how to build the shield maiden. I'm just waiting for the PDF to come out, and obviously the back cover there. So that is your training guide. So if you are wanting to play as a shield maiden and your GM is going to run you through, by all means do stop the video there. Do like and subscribe, don't just vanish. But if you're still here, let's move on to the Games Master's Guide. I hope you don't mind, but we're just going to put the books aside for a couple of minutes while I talk to you about the Tom's Bunker Patreon. Now, if you're enjoying our content, it is mainly because we have a lovely Patreon community that supports us each month, and their names are going past now. Thank you to all of the past, present and future Patreons. It really does make a difference. We all have jobs, we all have families, and we genuinely pay for everything ourselves. So if anybody out there wants to support us, links on the screen now. If that's not your thing, no dramas, do give us a like and a subscribe, maybe share the video. Now, back to the shield wall. So, the Games Master's Guide. As you've seen now from the previous book, the artwork in these is incredible. And the shield maidens are those larger-than-life characters. But I love the fact there's a Games Master's book. So, and I've warned you, if you're a player, you should not be watching this. It's on you. Just straight away, it just looks sick. The artwork's incredible again. And this gives a Games Master a bit of an idea as to what the world is. The ages of war, construction, the gods, mortals. Yeah, what is happening, who's who, the age of man and what happened in that. Guardian shields, and it gives you a full in-depth idea as to more information on guardian shields, the lore, animals, everything you need just to make your first adventures flow well. Advice for games mastering, yeah? How to design adventures, the open road, achieving an end, achieving a goal, what is what in this world. I mean, that's just badass. I think I stop at every single picture and say that. I just think all the art is incredible in this. I really do. Politics and Shield Maidens, the Bifrost, how that works, Midgard. Yeah, so zones, the various different zones, what happens in those. Aeroball. Wow, Aeroball championships are held in a globe every year, a high-speed game in which 3 teams are tasked to recover their rivals' balls and deliver it to their own goal zone. There are a few rules on how many may acquire another team's ball, with violence being the go-to solution. Each match is complicated by the arena gradually being immersed in water. Oh, wow. Okay, during the course of the match. Encouraging the players to win before they drown or a ball explodes in a shroud of jagged metal, which they do at random intervals. My players are going to be going after each other's balls. So it's like a full, literally every zone. Here is what's going on. Maps of the city of Midgard, where the zones are. I'm flicking through this quicker because I think GMs out there will get the idea of what this is without spoiling it too much. How the sewers and the topside work, the gangs, who they are, how they interact with each other, how to seed an adventure. it's just awesome. All of it's awesome. There's so much in here. Maps, information. This is a pure sort of tome as to, I mean, look at that. This is just a pure book for a games master to absorb. If you're into Vikings, into sort of Cyberpunk and stuff like that, I mean, wow. More information. You know, you can set your quests up. I know there are adventures coming. Which is great. But this is really good to give you that. You know, you can have an adventure, can't you? We all know that player that'll just go, oh, actually, I'm just going to want to go to the shop, so I want to go to the local drinking hall or something like that. And then knowing the information here, the people they may encounter, the slurs they may make, and how that will lead to impact on the party. That's the true sort of aspect of a games master, isn't it? Asgard, adventure seeds for that. Landmarks in Asgard, Skarloden's Wrath, Vanaheim here. I always struggle with it. So there are other locations. Pronunciation is not my best thing. I do apologise. How to seed adventures in various different places. Here we are. The gods. Freya, Njorda, Gullivik, Nos. Yeah, they're all in there, look. Foes. You know it's foes because there's a big nasty skull. Enemy stats, how they work, what they do, how they fight, basically, and the type of things that look at that. So the Fenrir are obviously the military force of the Fenrir Empire, comprise soldiers, officers, and less than human servants. Who they are, what they're likely to be armed with, their statistics for fighting, various different subjects. Brutes, monsters, adversaries, sea serpents, and there is a plethora of adversaries in here to get you going. There's plenty of stuff to put axe to face to. I'm absolutely certain, oh wow, a minor demigod or a norm. I'm absolutely certain some of this will kill you just by sort of mere presence. But there you go. And then obviously there's a bit more information in the back about the Godfall, the index. So it's literally, that book is a pure tome for the games master, and I think it's brilliant. So there we go. I hope you've enjoyed it. Yeah, Shield Maidens is here, and do subscribe for more. But if you bear with me, I'm going to be reading. Stay safe, stay well, and happy hobbying.